My name is Mo, and I work in the Office of Student Involvement. I'm the Director of Student Involvement. So we work with the clubs and organizations, the fraternity and sorority life, sports clubs. We have a lot of those on campus here, and campus programming. I started working on campus about 23 years ago in the residence halls on campus. So I have a lot of experience working over there, and then coming over in the last 5 or 6 years to work on this side of campus. Not in my house, although I am working from my house now, so it is kind of like this side of campus. The really great thing I'll say before we even start this Culture of Care workshop, if you see me smile when Derek and Koo are talking, it's because I saw them both when they were 18-year-olds coming to campus here, and the pride that I feel in them, the pride that I feel about them is if my heart could come out of my chest, it would. I love these two, and there's so many other students that, you know, do come back here and work and have offered great perspective to our students, both incoming and those that are here, the mentorship that they provide. I'm just really proud of these two, so I'm really excited to be here for you all and to be presenting with my friends here, so good job.
Thank you, Mo. It's an honor. It truly is an honor to be working with you now. Awesome. Well, so the purpose of our session today is to share with you about our culture of care we've established here at Sonoma State University. And if you haven't already noticed, you know, Sonoma State University, we are a pretty close-knit community where it's really relationship building. And, you know, Derek will talk more about, you know, our campus size and our population, et cetera. But, you know, when I leave my office, it's like I'm stopping like at every corner talking to someone because, you know, we have such a close-knit community where we want to make sure that our students, you know, feel like they matter. And so thank you again so much for joining us today. So I'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. So we did our welcome and introductions already. So Mo, myself, and Derek, we all, our departments fall under the Division of Student Affairs here at Sonoma State University. And this is just a little bit of information about our division. So our vision is to be nationally recognized for our commitment to student success, diversity, and inclusivity, transformative learning, leadership, cultivation, and outstanding service. The purpose of our division at Sonoma State University is to provide services and programs that support the achievement of students' educational and personal goals and that enhance the overall student experience. This is our diversity statement within the Division of Student Affairs. And so our division affirms the importance and centrality of the values of diversity, equity, and inclusivity. As student affairs professionals, we believe that inclusivity and social justice require persistence and perseverance to ensure that members from all identities, backgrounds, abilities, and belief systems have access, acknowledgement, opportunities, and a voice to participate at all levels within the university. Additionally, yeah.
Hey, the slides aren't advancing.
Oh,
so
it's
if
not.
You do that, yeah. So if you do the present button at the very top, and you be able to, the other participants be able to follow along.
I'm so sorry. You know, let me see if I can. I think what I did was, let's see. Let's try this again. My apologies.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yes. So I clicked present. Can you all see that?
Now we can see Greg Sawyer.
With Dr. Sawyer? Okay. And can you see the Division of Student Affairs diversity statement?
Not right now.
Oh, that's interesting. My apologies. Technical. Let's see. Can you see Dr. Sawyer?
Right now we can, yeah.
Right now you can. Okay. Okay, so let me, I will, when I click on the present, it takes me to this. Let's see.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, folks.
Yes, thank you for your patience. Let's see. Well, here, I'll go here and then I'll click to the next slide and you all can share with me if you can see the presentation. Okay, perfect. So here's a diversity statement. And, just like I was saying earlier, we strive to ensure that our staff, programs, activities, and services are reflective of those, of these values, and that through the mission of our university and purpose of our division, we hold ourselves accountable to these work principles in everyday work. I'm going to go to this slide, the next slide. Can you see Dr. Sawyer?
Yes.
Okay, I think we got this. All right, thank you. So we just wanted to share with you all who our VP, our Vice President for Student Affairs is, who is Dr. William Gregory Sawyer. And he has, under his leadership, SSU has been recognized as one of the nation's most promising places to work in this Division of Student Affairs in higher education through Diverse Magazine. And so in 2019 and 2020, he earned his PhD from the University of North Texas, Master's from Eastern New Mexico University, and Bachelor's from University of Mount Union. So what he brings to the table is helping students navigate the university, communicating for success both publicly and interpersonally, and communicating the unique complexities of a university. And I can definitely say that it's been an honor for me being able to work under his leadership. And we were really happy to have him here. So I'm going to hand it off to Derek to share a little bit more about himself and then to talk about our transformative culture of care. Going to the next slide. Can you see that? Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Ku. And then just like I mentioned earlier, my name is Derek Bradley. I graduated from Sonoma State. So I am a Sonoma State alumni. I was also part of the EOP program here at Sonoma State. So the EOP program, Ku works in that program as well too, is for low income and first generation college students. And again, I graduated back in 2013 with my bachelor's of arts and philosophy and a minor in sociology. Three things that I am very proud about is that I do provide academic advising for students in a holistic and a proactive approach, leading to student success. So I'm really about making sure that every student meets their educational goal, and we are in this together. And I basically kind of break it down with the students every single day, making sure that we're all in this together. And so we're creating this educational plan and whatever types of means I am to be able to support you, whether it's some type of resources or being able to connect you with a different person on campus. I'm just always go above and beyond to be able to provide those means for those students, and also being able to provide networks for the students. And so I'm very active in the Sonoma County community, being able to connect our students with our alumni and connecting our community back to our campus. So which is really important, in my opinion, and making sure that all students know about the access of a higher education. And also during this opportunity, being able to develop leadership skills for our students, because it's really important that not only that students come here, but they also leave with some additional skills once they leave our campus. And so that's just a little bit of background about myself. Cool. And so as I mentioned, I'm an alumni of Sonoma State. And so ironically, I actually came on a field trip to Sonoma State. And this is kind of, in my virtual background, this is kind of where I was first placed at Sonoma State. So I was basically kind of like walking down this pathway, and then our campus tour guide kind of just met us all here. And I'm originally from Southern California, so I had never been to Northern California ever in my life. And we actually took our senior field trip to visit a bunch of different schools up in Northern California. I just totally loved it. One of the first things that I loved about Sonoma State was just looking at all the nature that we have. So in my background, if you could kind of see, we have just a bunch of green, a lot of trees, a lot of just animals just roaming around campus. There's always a squirrel just running somewhere and stuff like that. We have a nice pond where you're able to feed the ducks and the geese out there as well too. So it's just a really different type of environment compared to just growing up in Southern California that I was really able to connect with as well too. Something that also I was able to connect with is just the people on campus. For some strange reason, I don't know if it's something in the water out here in Sonoma County, but just really people are just always just willing to help. Everyone's just super friendly, and you just really are able to get all the assistance that you need, even if it's just either calling up to the campus, someone will be able to pick up the phone and just be able to provide you all the your answers to your questions right then and there. Also, I love the location of where we're located. I like to say that we are the hidden gem up in Northern California. We're only 45 minutes away from San Francisco, so it is isolated a little bit from the big city life, from the hustle and bustle lifestyle. We're also only about an hour and a half outside of Sacramento, and only about a little bit over an hour from the East Bay as well too. So students can still be able to have that social life, but they still want to be able to go out to the Bay Area or even out to Sacramento as well too. And we're only about 30 to 45 minutes away from the beach as well too. So if students are like that coastal vibe as well too, so we're still able to provide those means. And also parents, anytime you come visit, we are located in beautiful wine country as well too. So being able to stop and pay a visit to your student and then go wine tasting right after. So making sure your student does set you up with a designated driver as well too. And then I also love our campus. As I mentioned, we are ranked number, I believe we're ranked number 12th in the nation for most beautiful campus in the nation. And so that's one of the other things that attracted me to our campus. And then also just the beautiness is you don't really get this type of vibe in a lot of the other campuses down in Southern California. So again, Sonoma State just really attracted me to the beauty, how friendly the people are, and just the proximity of the campus. Another thing about the campus that I want to note is that we are a small mid-sized campus. And so there's an average student ratio about like 25-1 from faculty to student. And so there's an average class size about 25 students. So it's a really great opportunity for students to be able to interact and build those connections, not only with the professors, but also the students in that class. So the students not really feeling like a ghost in their classroom, which is really cool. Yeah, I guess that's the transformative cultural care community that we do have at Sonoma State. If anyone has anything to add.
I think you got it, Derek.
On point, as always. Thank you, Derek. Awesome. So I'll share a little bit about myself today, and then we're going to talk about our advising model at Sonoma State and the support that our students receive at Sonoma State University with regards to the academic support. So again, my name is Kuyang Vigil, and I'm the Educational Opportunity Program Coordinator, and I graduated in Sonoma State in 2006. I earned my bachelor's degree in American Multicultural Studies. I was the first one in my family to earn a bachelor's degree, so I'm one of 8 children. And then I went off to Indiana State and earned my master's in student affairs and higher education. And while in graduate school, I had my daughter, and then I worked at Humboldt State University when I finished my degree. My first professional job, had my son, and now I have my 3rd one. And so I'm a mother of 3 children. And one of the other things that I love doing in my job is supporting and developing our students as young professionals. You know, seeing them come in as first-time first-year students or transfer students, and helping them through their academics and also their personal life, their social life. It really gives me gratification knowing that I'm here to help support them. And, you know, when my students come through the doors for EOP, you know, you really truly have someone there for life. I still keep in touch with my EOP advisor to this day. And my proudest moms are, you know, when students enter and then when you graduate. So we have a good number of students who are graduating this coming May. So academic support and resources here at Sonoma State University. So SSU, we provide a holistic advising support model. All of our students who enter Sonoma State, you have a professional academic advisor who is there to support you through your undergraduate years. You also have a major faculty advisor for those of you who are declared students. So let's say if you're a psychology major, you have a major advisor assigned to you to help support you in your endeavors at Sonoma State University and also beyond. And then we have the Advising Center, which is a centralized advising model where all of our lower division students can go and meet within a professional academic advisor. And then we also have special populations and professional academic advisors for our special population students. So EOP, we fall under the Center for Academic Access and Student Enrichment, and we serve underrepresented and underserved students. So if you are a student who a student with disabilities, we have our our disability services for students department, who has professional academic advisors to support you. You also have your major advisor to support you. And, if you're an EOP, then you have a professional academic advisor with an EOP, or if you are a foster youth student who have been in the foster care system, we do have our Seawolf Scholars Program, which also has a professional academic advisor to support. So as you can see, our goal is to make sure that our students do not fall through the cracks. So if, as for me as an EOP advisor, if there's a student who is not attending classes and their professor knows that student is an EOP, they will email me, and I will connect with the student to see, okay, what's going on, because sometimes it's the family things that are going on, the personal things that are going on, that is affecting the student's academic, life. And so for us, we want to make sure that we are providing that holistic approach, making sure that we understand what is going on that is affecting our students' lives in order to help them be successful, not just academically, but as a student and as an individual. So again, we are a relational campus, and we work collaborative between divisions within academic affairs, within division of student affairs, within administration and finance. If a student is not able to pay for their classes, registration, or housing, we're working closely with the different departments on campus to ensure that we can come up with a strategy and a plan to help the student be successful. Students have opportunities to engage in research and gain hands-on real-world experiences. We have our McNair Scholars Program, where students are able to do research, get published. We have our symposium at the end of each year or each semester, where students are working with faculty to do research and then present, which then also gives them the opportunity to go and present at conferences as well. And so there's a lot of different support and resources here for our students. We have our Learning Academic Resource Center to help students with writing, preparing for their graduation writing requirement before they graduate from Sonoma State University. We have free tutoring for our students that you don't have to pay for over 50 subjects. Again, our goal is to support you as a student, and just making sure that you have a goal, right? For a reason to earn that bachelor's degree, and we're here to support you in that process. Okay. So I'm going to move forward and have Mo share a little bit more about herself and in our student involvement on campus.
Thanks, Koo. I told you all that I've been here for the last 23 years or so. I moved here. I worked at like 5 different campuses across the country: New Hampshire, Arizona, Eastern Washington University here, and in Wisconsin, which is where I got my undergrad. My undergrad was in recreation, as you can see there, but what you can't see there is I wanted to be Julie McCoy on the Love Boat. That was my goal. My goal was to be her. And Julie McCoy's niece, actual niece, went to school here just a little bit before I got here. So I was very heartened by that, and I felt like I wanted to come here to Sonoma State University to kind of work here. And I never did get to be Julie McCoy of the Love Boat, but I do a lot of programming and activities here and some co-curricular stuff with the faculty. I feel like I already do the job of cruise director for the SSU. So that's a little bit about me. I love being on campus. I love that my kids have grown up here. They got here when they were about 3 and 10 months, and they're in their 20s now, almost all of them. So it's really a pleasure for me to share this experience with my kids as well. And I wouldn't be telling you all that this is a place where you want your kids to go if I didn't feel that way myself. And I know Koo has her kids also on campus quite a bit. And the students know them, and I think that's a good thing. We share a little bit of ourselves with them. We're always trying to help our students uphold the Seawolf commitment, to care about each other, to see more than just what's in front of you about the students that are working with us. And that's been something that I really appreciate. I know that Derek talked about the beautiful campus, and Koo talked about all the people that have helped us, or that coordinate to help the students here to create this culture of care here. But you can see it right from the day you get here. The facilities people that work on the grounds, and the grounds people, and the people that make our campus look beautiful, all the way up to the President of the United States, the President of Sonoma State, and everyone in between. I mean, we take a lot of pride in what we have to offer here. And I think you can hear that from Derek and Koo. So I'm going to talk about a few things that I think of when I think about a culture of care here at Sonoma State University. Thanks, Koo. The relationships we've talked about, there's so much campus collaboration between the different departments. If you call the campus, I hope that your experience has been that if that person can't help you with that answer, if they can't help your student with that answer, that we're not just sending you to another office, we're actually trying to help find that information out. So you just have to have one stop at that point to do things. The fact that it is a relationship campus and that we know so many people on campus and it's a small community and we know people by names, we want our students to feel like they matter. The fact that that's all there, that's why I'm still here. I could have worked in a lot of different universities and stayed here for 23 years. And I've had a taste of other campuses and I've liked them. I just haven't loved them as much as I have loved Sonoma State University. Our student leaders, I don't know if people come here because they hear the leadership program or just when they get here, they just get a lot of opportunities to be a part of creating this culture of care. We have a ton of student leaders who are mentors and RAs in the residence halls and mentors in the classrooms that work with us for your students for summer orientation, that work with your students in EOP and the Seawolf Scholars, that work with our military veterans families that are here, that work with our transfer students. We have so many student leaders here that it's not just us talking to the students, because I know I'm like 50 something. Students don't want to hear what I have to say most of the time, but they'll listen to their peers. And we have a lot of pride in our leadership program and a lot of pride that many of our student leaders go into this field because they want to continue helping students like they are here. And when we talk about feeling like your student matters or helping them to feel like they matter, you talked to the residential life folks earlier today. One of the things that when they walk in that first day into the residential community, if that's where they're going to live, there are door signs on their door that say their names. And many of us have gone to college, so we know that that's something. It says, this is where you are, this is your name, this is where you belong. And just from the very get-go, helping students to understand that they matter to us, I think is just so key here. And it's just different here from other places I've been. And the student leaders have a lot to do with that. And we accentuate the curricular with the co-curricular. I've been working on programming here since I got here in 1997. Our campus has grown exponentially from, I don't know, I think we had 800 students at the time I got here living in the residence halls, and most of them were not 18. The average age was 28 at that time. To now, 23 years later, we have 3,100 living in the res halls, and the average age is probably more like 19, 20. So we have changed a lot over the last 20 or so years that I've been here. We've added the beautiful Green Music Center, the amazing Student Center, the Recreation Center, more residence halls. There's been so much growth here. It's really amazing to me. And we work a lot with the faculty to do programming and to help accentuate what happens in the classroom, to continue those conversations outside the classroom. We did some virtual learning, and a couple of weeks ago, I had a speaker that was working with us about Trans Visibility Awareness Week and Sexual Assault Awareness Month and intersecting identities. And I brought that speaker into one of our classes, and there were about 200 students that attended that lecture, and it was really amazing. So that's something that we can do in the programmatic realm to connect students to something in the classroom. So we work together quite a bit. So those are three things that I think of in terms of a culture of care. Working together, helping our students to feel like they matter here is something that's important. Some other things involve students. We want students to get involved and engaged on campus. We know that that helps in their transition from high school to college. We know that that helps in their transition from college to working outside of college or graduate school, wherever they may end up. We know that the more involved they get here, the more likely they are to get hired in a company because they have a lot of different experiences, especially if they get to get involved with our leadership program. They gain a lot of skills. And so, I mean, they're more likely to discover their passion and their strengths if they get involved and get connected with others. It helps them to want to stay. I think the clubs and organizations that we have, whether it's fraternity and sorority life or sports clubs, or whether it's in the recreation center in the EOP program, whether it's one of our multicultural clubs or one of our spiritual clubs and organizations that we have, or village council that they can get involved in their first year of being here. All of those things really are here, and we cultivate those to get your students connected and involved. If they're interested in musical theater, we have lots of musicals that we do, but we also take trips to musicals down in the city. If they like sports and stuff like that, we have sports clubs, sports teams, intramurals, and we go to professional sporting events. So we try to help them to discover and get connected with other people that have similar interests. We also try to help them be connected to the campus and to their resources on campus. If there's one thing that we want our first year students to know when they get here, we want all our students to know, is that there are so many people here that are ready, waiting by the phone or sitting in the office. Sometimes I'm down in the plaza just hanging out at lunchtime when the students are there, just saying hi, answering questions. They know that we're here. So, I mean, the more that they get involved and get engaged and get connected and gain those skills, the more likely they are to graduate from Sonoma State University, and the more likely they are to be successful later, because that goes on their resumes. Those are the things that help to bolster it. So these are some things that we believe in terms of students getting involved. And I know that the residential life folks talked to you a little bit earlier. These are some of the things that we came up with as far as the residential student. Maybe Derek or Koo, you lived on campus here. You might have a couple of comments about some of these things, so that I'm not the only one talking this whole time.
Yeah, I got something to add. And
Thanks.
so originally, again, being from Southern California, one of the huge selling points for me and why I selected to come to Sonoma State is our campus housing. We have one of the more unique type of campus housings across the nation. A lot of the rooms, either you can be able to choose for yourself. We also have identity type of living as well too. So if the students identify with a specific group or personally identify with something, we could be able to have specialized living communities for these students to be able to build more community within one another as well too. And that also extends, as Mo mentioned earlier, that also extends into the curriculum as well too. I don't know if Koo has anything else to add on that.
All I can say is our students love who live on campus. They love just rolling out of bed and walking a 5-minute commute to their class that starts at 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. So I know it's definitely a benefit for our students.
Yeah, now we realize that not everybody is going to send their kids here to live on campus. Some of you live locally. We saw as we took a little roll call earlier. And that's okay. Your students can get involved with the trips that we do. Your students can get involved with the programs that we do. Your students will be spending some time, I'm sure, in the residential community. And so it's good for them, good for you all to know what we have in place there. And I think Residential Life or REACH probably talked about that a little bit earlier as far as the student leaders in that program and the amount of training they go through. All of our student leaders go through like at least 2 weeks of training in the beginning or within the beginning months, and then continual training throughout the year as issues come up and as cyclical things come up that we might want to train them on. So this is just another way that we can support the students and continue that culture of care. Is in the residential community, there are student leaders and professional staff that help them to be successful. And we have time for some Q&A. So Derek, I see you're answering some things already. Other questions that people have. We have a great CAPS program on campus. Actually, they just sent out a video to our students a couple of days ago from the counselors within the counseling center, reminding students that are working virtually from home right now that they are here, that they are willing and able to help guide them through any challenges that they might be having. As you all know, it's not easy doing virtual learning, not for the parents, not for the students, and not for us here. We really are here because of the students. When I'm just looking at a screen all day, it's not quite the same. Other questions? Thank you for that, Jason. Doesn't look like that. Koo, Derek, anything else you want to add before we wrap up here?
No, I just piggyback what you were saying a little bit earlier about getting involved. If I didn't get involved on campus, I wouldn't be in the position that I am in today. I was in different clubs. I joined a fraternity. I networked with different staff on campus as well too. I do encourage students to network with their faculty members, because not only do your faculty members hold the letter grade for the students in the class, but they also have different networks, which are really important, because we all know it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And so we really encourage students to be able to go build those networks with their faculty members, and so they're able to get those letters of recommendation if they're going to graduate school, or if they need someone to look over their resume as well too. And so we really encourage students to be able to get involved in some type of intramural sports, or get involved in a club or organization, or get involved in the Model UN, go travel, go
Student government.
Student government. We have a great study abroad program at Sonoma State. So really encourage your students to get involved no matter what campus that they attend. We really want them to come to Sonoma State, but no matter what campus that they do attend, encourage them to get involved, because it's really going to expand their college experience, but as well too, but it's also going to be able to give them those networks that they're going to be really needing as they finish their college experience at the same time, whether it's 4 or 5 years.
Great.
Yeah, and I would just say for parents, guardians, I love working with our parents and guardians, and sometimes it's being able to support the parents and guardians as their child is moving out of the home, right? So I understand, and just know that your child, your student is coming into great hands here at Sonoma State University. They have a whole student success team who's dedicated to support them. And so just know that your student is not alone here when they come to Sonoma State, whether they're living on campus or whether they're commuting. I lived on campus my first year, and then I commuted the rest of my years. And so getting involved was my way of being able to connect with and stay connected to Sonoma State. So that's, I just want to say thank you again so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you very much, and thanks to Derek and Koo. If you all have any questions, jot down our names: Mo Phillips, Derek Bradley, Koo Yang Vigil. You can find us on the SSU website. Just go to the directory area and you can type our names in. We would be happy to talk with you if your student's on the fence about what they want to do here, or whether or not they want to come here. We are way happy to talk with them, or to connect them with a student who can talk with them about their experience here, because I think, again, that's probably much more effective than like me talking to them. So we're happy to do that.
Awesome. Your daughter has congratulations.
Yay. Welcome, Seawolf. All right, folks.
Please encourage your daughter to visit the advising center, so she could be able to get plan out her educational journey correctly, making sure they're taking the right classes and connecting with the right faculty members as well too.
Great.
I see that Michelle asked the question, if they want to change majors, who is the person they should chat with? I'm going to refer that to you, Derek.
They can chat with myself once they come in. I'll be more than willing to assist the student in planning out the educational journey. I do support students and social science majors, so looking at anthropology, criminology, criminal justice, history, pre-human development, women and gender studies, political science, and also global studies. But I can support students also outside of that scope as well too.
Great. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Koo.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us today. It was such a pleasure being able to connect with all of you. And again, feel free to reach out to any one of us, okay? If you have
We
further
hope to see you here in the fall. Thanks, folks.
Awesome.
All right. Take care.
Take care, everyone.